A boy with a broken heart is touching hearts all over the world. 11-year-old Mitchell Jones has a form of muscular dystrophy and his heart is rapidly deteriorating. There's nothing doctors can do to repair the heart damage, but his remarkable attitude and his family's faith have inspired thousands through a Facebook page. Tonight, news specialist Ksl Mitchell'S shares their story.
He is a joy. He has the funniest sense of humor ever.
A young boy with courage and strength beyond his years, Mitchell has faced life's toughest questions. Chris Jones began documenting his son's declining health last summer when the family learned his heart was failing.
It caused us to be a lot more reflective about our experience. It turned us from being victims to more observers of this marvelous thing that was going on, even though it's so difficult.
The Facebook page, initially intended for family and friends, now gains 1,000 new followers a day.
It's been, amazing to feel love from everywhere.
And Facebook followers say the Joneses' inspiring messages and videos have helped them find faith.
They'll write us and say, I've never prayed before, or I don't pray, or I don't believe in God, but now I do.
Besides sending prayers and words of encouragement, Facebook followers have taken action.
One of the people following Mitchell's Journey had actually reached out to the Parent Project.
The organization advocates for muscular dystrophy patients, and when the CEO heard Mitchell's story, she picked up the phone.
The CEO of that organization got on the phone with what they say half of America's surgeons that were qualified to do what we need to do. And then just called us on Friday of last week and said, we can't see this happen, we want to help.
If all goes according to plan, on Monday, a surgical team in Columbus, Ohio will insert a left ventricular assist device into Mitchell's heart. It's not a cure, but it will give him more time.
Either one, it's going to provide a way out for him to live longer, or it will have satisfied that soulful question, that agonizing question, have we done all that we could? So either outcome to us is a blessing.
The Jones family has counted so many blessings along this journey and considers each extra moment of Mitchell's life a miracle.
Mitchell shouldn't be alive at this moment, and we just feel like it's the combination of all the prayers and faith of now thousands of people that might have altered the course of his life a little. Whether that's just given us a few more days, or with this new thing happening with his LVAD, possibly years.
With whatever time is left, the Jones family will continue to find light, even in the darkest places, and prove to the world that broken hearts often have the most to give. Ksl Mitchell'S, KSL 5 News.
Thanks, Ksl. Many folks have certainly blessed Mitchell's life, but two friendships in particular have had a special impact, and you can read more about that in the Deseret News. We've also posted a link to the family's Facebook page on KSL.com.
You learn so much from those families.
Yeah, a lot of prayers for him, especially as he goes into surgery coming up in the next week. Last week, we introduced you to a remarkable boy embarking on life's final journey. A former BYU football player was so moved by Mitchell's story that he asked to meet him, and he brought a surprise. Tonight, news specialist Ksl Mitchell'S shares the tender visit that strengthened a young boy's weak heart.
This is the stud right here. I like that shirt.
Former BYU safety Andrew Rich met his hero over the weekend.
I look up to you. You're stronger than I think anyone I've ever met. That's why I wanted to meet you. It's a bonus that you're a BYU fan.
Mitchell Jones is a hero to many. More than 14,000 people on Facebook are following his battle with a form of muscular dystrophy that is destroying his heart.
I've never really battled anything that you've battled, but I want you to know that I look up to you, and I want you to have this glove. And know that I look to you as a hero.
The glove, tattered and worn, holds sentimental value. Rich used it during his last football game. And that wasn't the only surprise he brought.
Hi, Mitch. This is Coach Mendenhall. How you doing? Good. I hear you are one tough hombre.
Mitch has battled some real battles, and I reached out.
Rich reached out in part because of his own son's fragile heart.
He's had 2 open heart surgeries, and Primary Children's has kind of been our second home. I always thought football was the most important thing until I had a baby.
It is that sacred bond of family that Mitchell's father often writes about, and the trials that put into perspective what matters most.
We think that life's full of suffering, but we can choose how we decide to respond to it.
And the Jones family members choose to treasure the moments they have left with their son and brother. They choose to learn from his example.
We just love him because he always makes us laugh.
They choose to embrace the kindness of friends.
Hi, Mitch. It's Miss Anderson. Mitch, you're our superhero.
And strangers.
We are just so touched with people we don't know reaching out to Mitchell.
And they choose to love completely. Carol Makita, KSL 5 News.
What a sweet photograph that is. Mitchell has received many special gifts from family, friends, and strangers. You can read more about these gifts from the heart on KSL.com. We've also listed information on a P.O. box for Mitchell, his family saying that he has been reading every single letter and comment made.
It's really true. He does inspire and make you look up to him.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable story. And again, that last shot, that's hard not to get choked up when you see that shot.
What a great young man. We wish the best to he and his family.
Tonight, many hearts are broken over the loss of a young boy in Harriman. Mitchell Jones died early this morning, surrounded by his family. People all over the world followed his final journey on Facebook, and while they mourn his passing, they're also celebrating the remarkable impact of his young life.
It almost seemed like he had a different mission in life as well, and he handled it with such maturity and dignity.
Though Mitchell's body was ravaged by the effects of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, his spirit grew stronger as his life slipped away.
It was kind of the case where the person who's in suffering is the one who's reaching out and comforting others' sorrows.
A family friend remembers Mitchell's constant smile and ability to enjoy every moment.
Even in the darkest of times, really Mitchell and his family, Chris and Natalie and his siblings, were just such a source of light and inspiration for all of us.
Chris Jones broke the news on Facebook early this morning that his son had passed away. He wrote, "Our hearts are heavy with sorrow, but filled with gratitude and peace." Mitchell's journey is not over. It has only just begun in this life and the life after. Condolences have been pouring onto the page from nearly every continent. So many people expressing gratitude to the Jones family members for sharing their story. Before Mitchell passed away, family members told us they felt all of the prayers and appreciated every kind word.
It's been, amazing to feel love from everywhere.
We just really like how other people support us and love us.
Mitchell's journey ultimately showed us what is most important in life.
While we were watching them love their family and watching them go through their heartbreaking situation, it made me love my family even more.
A young boy with a broken heart, touching hearts all over the world and reminding us that love is the greatest gift of all. Mitchell's father said in the coming days, weeks, and months, the family will continue sharing some of the tender experiences they had with him and also the events that strengthened their faith. The family also plans to share some of the remarkable things they learned from those following Mitchell's journey.